it's AJ the CEO here, and if this is your first time stopping by the channel, thanks for stopping by. And on this channel we focus on tips, training, strategies, reviews, and builds to help modernize your media ministry. So if you are new here, consider subscribing. So we have a interesting little I want to say reaction, but it's not really a reaction. It's pretty much this church, Victory Family Worship Center, is a church that I helped install some a camera, a computer for putting presentations and things like that. And originally they were just going to be recording, but this past Sunday was their very first time live streaming. So the pastor, one of the pastors, First Lady, Dr. Johnson, has asked me to review their live stream, their first attempt, and give them some tips, some critiques to help improve it. Now again, this is a learning experience. At no point in time am I saying that I know all this is to do anything about live streaming. But again, we install their stuff and we introduced them to live streaming. So they asked, and that's what we're going to do. So come along with me, and maybe y'all might learn something at the same time, and we're going to learn some stuff together. So let me pull out a notepad here so I can have some stuff written down. And we're going to just write down some suggestions on what we think we can help them improve. All right, so let's go ahead and start it up here. All right, now I'm going to take the blame for this one. It was actually a YouTube issue. Not YouTube, but it was a Facebook issue going on Sunday. So some of the live stream stuff was not working. And there's a bunch of people who have reported that issue. So they contacted me. I was in the middle of church. My church starts at 10. Theirs starts at 11. So that's why we had a long gap in time here. But I guess that would be the first thing is, and I talked about it in a previous video, which I'll tag up here, is to have
message. This is witchcraft.
Okay, well let me.
Mr. AJ's ringing remotely.
They talk about me. All right, let me pause it right now. So the first thing is you want to have a welcome screen to where it's locking down to where either you have first message, say who you are, what the church is, a welcome message, thank you, what time is your live stream going to start, anything like that. And then honestly, instead of just silence, maybe some music, some background music, some no copyrighted music. There are a bunch of places you can look on YouTube to get that. You wouldn't want this to have a long time. Like again, in the previous video, I showed how you can actually use the countdown timers that I put out on the channel under resources, or you can get from my website, ajhomes.com, and look under resources. Media resources, I believe it is, and you can download different timers ranging from 30 seconds all the way up to 1 hour, and you can use that as a countdown timer so people can at least know, okay, I'm here, what have I missed? Oh, I haven't missed anything. I'm getting a countdown, so we're going to be starting soon. That's the first thing I would suggest. And then based on what you're hearing right now,
typing us.
See there, you can hear them talking right now. So what I would do is, let me show my screen here, and it's going on to infinity. But as you can see right now, I'm recording myself obviously talking and the screen. Now in a welcome scene that I don't want to change because I'm gonna knock this out right now, you have your video capture device. If you don't want to capture audio, this works in layers. First, for like in their example, if you don't want to capture live audio that's coming in on that scene, you just don't need to include your capture device or any audio. So like right now, I can disable this because I don't have a capture device connected to this right now, which is normally a webcam. So at this point, because it's hidden, I'm not capturing any video, I'm not capturing any audio. Now what we do is, you could have this and then just put an image over top of this. Let me see if I can just find I'll just use an existing. I don't know what this image is. Oh, that was our desktop wallpaper. Let me just find something here. Let's do this. So you could do something like this, and it works in layers. So if you want people to hear, but you don't want them to see what's going on, you can put an image over top of this and you would still hear the audio. And that's kind of the situation that happened with them. They have a welcome message image going on, but they still had the audio running. So they have a Blackmagic Decklink Mini, so that captures video and audio from the camera. All they really had to do was just check that off, and then no audio would be going out, and we wouldn't be hearing that, what they're talking about. So that's it. So they're talking about when I logged in and remoted in to check out. So now right now you're hearing the audio. So that's what originally they didn't want to do that. So again, if you don't want your audio to go out, you can just either mute the audio or just completely don't even include it at all. So I think they are still of the mindset that they wanted to only live stream the word. So again, we started way too early just for that. So let me pull this down here so I'm not battling with that. So if we skip forward some more. So we're here now here. So I'm going to stop right here. And the first thing I would say, let me skip forward a little bit, is the camera angle. Now, as you can see, the ceiling in this sanctuary is not that high, but you have to be mindful of your camera angles because you're going to start getting the back of people's heads and things like that. So you want to get the camera as high as you possibly can, to where obviously it's still reachable. This is just a Canon R800 that they're using right now, which is perfectly fine based on what they're at. But again, on their tripod, you probably want to lift this up as high as it can possibly go to get over people's heads. That way, you know, you're not going to get any distractions. You're not going to have somebody sitting in front, because this is pretty early where service started off. Now, when it comes into a close up, this is what you want to try and avoid, because you have a whole lot of people walking in their path, their heads are in the way, things like that. But again, if you're only doing the sermon, this shouldn't be that much of a problem, because most of the time people are sitting down when it comes to the sermon. So they switched back to this because I think they realized that they were live streaming all of that. And we want to just skip ahead to the sermon. Let's see. Let me unmute it here for a second.
Why should I feel?
All right, so that's some more music. So I would say this shot is fine. I would probably say back it up just a little bit, but that's just me personally. I would back that out because it just feels like you're right up in their nose. But this shot and maybe up to the torso is fine. But again, you gotta realize in their sanctuary it's not that deep, so you don't necessarily have to get that close of a shot, but that is fine. And it looks like Dr. Johnson was actually preaching. So let's go a little bit further in here.
The 7th chapter, the book of Deuteronomy.
Now, what I would like and would suggest is in their sound system to run the sound directly into the computer that's capturing it, instead of using the camera's mic to capture that. That way you would get a direct input of what's going on. You can hear the audio and you won't have that much, because right now the audio is being captured from the camera. So you're going to catch anybody in between the camera and your speaker. So any people dropping anything, kids playing, anything like that, you're going to hear all of that. But hopefully if you pull it directly from the sound system, just an aux out or a headphone out or whatever to connect in, this should not be a problem.
The 7th chapter. Amen.
Now, this is more of a technical, because I know I set this up. This would be one of those moments where you can, and I'll link it up here, where you can use that OBS to capture the screen, so you can have scripture being shown at the exact same time, or you would have another scene similar to what we're talking about. And let me bring our system up so you can actually, so I can actually show you this at the same time. So I'm not gonna capture the screen. Well, no, I do want to capture the screen. Let's move this up because we're in a layer approach. let's open up Worship Extreme. I might have to do this a little bit differently. Hopefully it won't. Hold on, let me put it always on top and maybe that will work. So if I came in here and let me put up a song here and let's display that. And of course that won't work if you're doing full screen, AJ. Alright, so hopefully you can get the gist of this while I have this up. Well, actually, let me move this off screen. So you could do something like this and bring up the lyrics, or if you are capturing, you could just do no background and then place this and move it down, and then we do what we talked about before where you remove the background, a color key, put it in the lower screen, and you can have your lyrics or scripture being put on the screen at the exact same time. And I'll link that here above so you can see how you do that. But that's really simple. That's what I would add. That just adds just a little. Actually, let me see if I can do this with this at the same time. So we already captured that monitor. Yeah, I can't do it in this setup how I have it right now. But the idea is this will be capturing from the camera in your OBS here. And then you would have another scene that's capturing that program. So this would actually be, the video would be coming in on the capture device. We would capture monitor 2 or NDI 2, whichever one, if it was on a separate system. And I have another video where we just talked about how to do that. And we would have the scripture laid over top of this at the same time. But that's just something different to enhance this.
We'll be doing a combination of teaching and whatever else the Lord
now whatever else I would add some more lighting, just because of the light source. The camera is probably looking at this light, and this is where it's going to capture everything, and that light is on what they're reading and not on the subject. That would be one thing. And it looks like they have lighting that's aimed at the person who is talking. I would recommend that, and possibly turn this light off if possible, or put a lower one to where it's right on the stand, excuse me, is on the stand, so it still gets them the same light, but it's not dominating the shot, and the camera's not focusing and pulling all its light from there. You know, and let's see how it ends.
And all
Scoot it back.
a span of time, how I would be.
Okay, and it just ends. So I think what needs to happen with that is, just like we talked about before, just how you start off, you want to end the same way. So you don't want to make another scene. Let's go into studio mode here. I would make another scene and just call it ending, and then build out just a thank you. It could be just a still image. It could be a video of them saying thank you. But just for right now, honestly, the easiest thing would be just come here to images, and let's go out here to CMG Create. It's another great resource where you can get free still images and things like that for your church. So let me cancel this and let's get this out the way first. So this is CMG Create, cmgcreate.com, and then it'll change it to this link. But these are free stills that you can get. So I'll go here to titles, so we can do thanks for joining us, any one of them that are free, and I'll just download this. And now what I do is, instead of just an abrupt ending of your live stream, I would come in here, add an image, and we'll say, call this thank you, so that way we know exactly what it is. And my downloads, which obviously I need to clean because it's going slow. Alright, and I would just have something like this. Now, that's what you would see, but then you can start layering a bunch of stuff. If you want a message, you can have a media source, and it can just be an MP3, an audio file, a video file, or whatever, to go here if you just want to hear the voice. You can pick background music, anything that you want to end. Honestly, I don't think the ending should go any longer. You shouldn't stay on the scene longer than 60 seconds, especially if it's the end. Just give a message, give information about the next time you can be seen, your church information, your website, social media, whatever. That would be the one thing that I would add at the end. But what I would honestly say, for the first time of live streaming, I think this is a great first step for Victory Family Worship Center and their live streaming. But anyway, I hope y'all like this type of content. I hope to try and do this a little bit more, because again, I want to start kind of doing reactions and my thoughts on other churches and their live streams, because again, this is a learning experience for me as well as me trying to help y'all. So anyway, if you like this type of content, I would appreciate a like, consider subscribing, and hit that bell. That way you get notified when we come out with other videos to help modernize your media ministry. This is AJ, and we will see you on the next video. Later.